The story of Clash of the Titans unfolds in the city of Argos, set in ancient Greece, where an imminent war between humans and gods is about to erupt. An opening narration introduces the three Olympian brothers who long ago faced the powerful Titans, Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades. Hades, with his cunning, devised a way to defeat the Titans by creating a colossal creature known as the Kraken. After the victory over the Titans, Zeus took on the responsibility of ruling humans, while Poseidon ruled the seas. However, Hades, deceived by Zeus, was forced to take control of the underworld. Anyone who enjoys adventure movies or films about ancient gods has probably watched Clash of the Titans. If you've seen it, leave a like. If you haven't, comment below. Moving on. While Zeus and Poseidon gained power through the prayers of humans, Hades discovered a different way to strengthen himself, through fear. A fisherman named Spyros finds a coffin floating in the sea and discovers a baby named Perseus and his deceased mother, Danae, inside it. Spyros decides to raise Perseus as his own son. Years later, Perseus and his family are fishing when they witness a group of soldiers from Argos destroying a statue of Zeus as a declaration of war against the gods. At that moment, Hades appears and commands a group of harpies to massacre the soldiers and destroy Perseus's family's fishing boat. Perseus desperately tries to save his family, but fails. The surviving soldiers take Perseus back to Argos. During a banquet in honor of the returning soldiers, King Cepheus and Queen Cassiopeia of Argos compare themselves to the gods, which displeases their daughter, Andromeda. After convincing his brother to allow him to punish humanity for its arrogance, Hades appears in the court and kills the remaining soldiers. But Perseus is unaffected. Hades then reveals that Perseus is the demigod's son of Zeus, and aging Cassiopeia to death, threatens to destroy Argos in 10 days unless Princess Andromeda is sacrificed to the Kraken. Hermes, the messenger god, approaches Zeus on Olympus and reveals the location of his son Perseus. Hermes suggests offering refuge to Perseus, but Zeus declares that he will be left to follow his own fate, along with the other unbelieving mortals. The king seeks Perseus's assistance after he is imprisoned in the dungeon. Perseus initially refuses, but changes his mind upon meeting Io, a woman cursed with immortality for refusing the seduction of a god. Io reveals that Perseus's conception was a punishment from Zeus against Acrisius, the former king of Argos who was married to Danae, due to his transgressions against the gods. When Acrisius cast Danae and the baby Perseus into the sea inside a coffin, Zeus, enraged, struck Acrisius with a lightning bolt, leaving him terribly disfigured. Upon discovering that killing the Kraken would allow him to take revenge on Hades, Perseus agrees to help. He and Argos's best soldiers set out to find the Stygian witches, accompanied by the Persian monster hunters Ixus and Kukuk, and followed by Io. To counter this turn of events, Hades summons Acrisius, now called Calibos, to assassinate Perseus. Hades grants Calibos superhuman powers. In the forest, Perseus and his men come across a sword forged on Mount Olympus, which will only reveal its power if wielded by Perseus. While separated from the group, Perseus encounters Zeus's sacred herd of winged horses, the Pegasus. However, Perseus refuses both the sword and the pure black Pegasus that the gods offer as aid, as he does not wish to become a god. Calibos attacks the group and attempts to assassinate Perseus, killing several soldiers in the process, but fails, losing his hand before escaping. However, Calibos's blood turns into giant scorpions that attack Perseus and his group. Although they kill several scorpions, most of the group is slain, and the survivors are surrounded by more monsters. They are saved by the Jinn, a group of desert sorcerers who were once human but exchanged their flesh for ash and dark magic. These enigmatic creatures possess the power to hypnotize and control the scorpions. Although initially distrusted, after healing Perseus's wound, the leader of the Jinn, Sheikh Suleiman, joins Perseus's group. The Jinn wish to see the god's desire for destruction fail. The heroes arrive at the Garden of Stygia and are informed by the Stygian witches that the head of the Gorgon Medusa can kill the Kraken, but they warn that Perseus and his group will die in the process. After leaving the witches with the hunters departing, Perseus is visited by Zeus, who offers him refuge on Mount Olympus, but he refuses. Zeus gives him a golden drachma, which Perseus later discovers is a way to bribe Charon to cross into the underworld. While Io stays outside Medusa's lair, due to a spell that forbids any woman from entering the area, Perseus's remaining soldiers struggle to survive, but are petrified one by Medusa's gaze. However, with Suleiman sacrificing himself and Draco's sacrifice, Perseus manages to decapitate Medusa, and her staggering body falls in flames. Perseus emerges just in time to see Calibos kill Io by stabbing her in the back. Perseus confronts Calibos in a battle and kills him using the Olympian sword, turning him back into Acrisius in his human form. With his last breath, as Hades' power abandons him, Acrisius tells Perseus never to become a god. Perseus stays by the dying Io until she passes away, then rides Pegasus back to Argos with Medusa's head, only to find that some citizens of Argos have formed a cult to Hades and are planning to sacrifice Andromeda to the Kraken against the king's will. At this moment, Hades reveals to Zeus that the destruction of Argos will grant him enough power to subjugate the other Olympian gods, leaving his brother powerless and securing his victory. Perseus returns to Argos, but Hades sends his harpies to stop him. Perseus defeats the creatures sent by Hades and uses Medusa's head to turn the Kraken to stone, while Cepheus is killed by the cult leader, who is then crushed to pieces by the Kraken. Hades appears and mocks Perseus, claiming he cannot kill him because he is a god. Perseus retorts that while Hades may live forever, it won't be in the world of men, and uses the sword to banish Hades back to the underworld. After Perseus saves Argos from destruction, Andromeda suggests that he become king and rule by her side, but he declines. Zeus appears to Perseus once again and offers to turn him into a god, but for the second time, he refuses. Zeus warns Perseus that Hades will return to rule the world in darkness as soon as he gathers enough fear from humans. Determined to stay on Earth, Perseus is granted the resurrection of Io by Zeus, and the two embrace as Pegasus flies above them. Hey, did you enjoy the summary? I invite you to subscribe to the channel to receive more summaries like this. See you in the next one.